Welcome to Warn Radio. With your hosts, the Watchman Dana Smith and Tower. Thanks for listening.
Greetings in the name of the Lord and welcome to Warn Radio. This is Tower. I'm here with the Watchman and we are glad you joined us. Please send all your prayer requests and correspondence to us through our contact page at warn-usa.com. You can listen to our Warn Radio episodes on danaglennsmith.com and warn-usa.com. Warn Radio is on the following platforms: Amazon Prime Music and Podcast, Spreaker, Blueberry, iHeartRadio, iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn, Google Play Music, Blog Talk Radio, Podcast Addict, Castbox, Google Podcast, Deezer, Spotify, Anchor, and Pocket Cast. And do not miss the featured posts this week of our in-depth biblical articles and radio shows featured on both warn-usa.com and danaglennsmith.com. Thy many gods, who shall save you? And the Land of Shadows, featured on danaglennsmith.com. Perilous Living, Best and Worst of Times. Faultless to Stand Before the Lamb. Steal the Darkness, Christian Fiction Release. America, If Thy Foundations Be Destroyed. Featured on warn-usa.com. No Other Gospel. The Rise of Islam and the Fall of the West. Faith, Persecuted, Love of God. Faith Life Journey. Christian Faith Persecution, Classic Warn Radio. Nations Drunk on Wine of the Harlot. And don't miss these WIBR Warn Radio weekly shows on Wednesdays: Advocacy from April 3rd, Agape, Benevolent Love, Times of Trouble, Rebuilding Lives, Gospel is Real, Advocacy. Thursdays, Battle Lines from April 4th. Days of Old, Isaiah's Prophetic Book, Part 212. Fridays, Sound the Shofar from April 5th. The Word of the Lord, Nations, Promises, Phrases, and Perpetuity, Part 12. Be sure to get your copy of The Rising. It's a Christian fiction thriller by the Watchman Dana G. Smith, a story of personal survival, the struggle of a nation, and the love of two people set amidst the prophetic landscape of perilous times. Hidden within the storyline of The Rising is the truth of what's happening in America now. Check out The Rising. When he who opposes rises, believers overcome by faith. And you can get your copy on Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Books A Million, Ingram, Walmart, Angus & Robertson. The Rising ebook can be found on Google Play. You can also get your copy of The Rising by going to danaglennsmith.com. Visit our Christian books and resource shop where we feature The Rising and other Christian books, as well as resources from our Vision Media. And now I welcome in the Watchman.
You're listening to Warn Radio on the WIBR Warn Radio Network. Don't forget to visit our websites at warn-usa.com and danaglennsmith.com. And also follow us on Twitter, find us on Instagram, and join us on LinkedIn.
Thanks, Dana. How are you doing tonight?
Well, I'm doing good. How are you doing?
I'm doing great. I'm glad to be here on this Wednesday, April 10th. It's a beautiful day. It's staying light longer.
You know, the way things are in the world and in America, you have to look out. And when spring gets here, you need to rejoice. You need to be happy. You need to work in the yard. You need to busy yourself because there's things that are happening in America that haven't happened like this ever.
It's very tragic.
We are in a different time. Now, up where we live, we had a horrible incident in the mall. Now, this mall is old. It's an old mall. And there are some stores in it, and I don't even know who goes in it because I never go in it. I never go to it. And we used to a long time ago.
It's mostly stores for young people.
Yeah. Well, at any rate, in this mall, there is also a lot of places where kids can get in trouble. And you might know it by one of the eateries in the mall. They went out the door where the eateries were. And this leads us to bring up, there was a couple of young females who were in the mall walking around, and they noticed these two boys following them everywhere. So one of the girls called her boyfriends Robert Bobby Mayer Jr. No, that's the wrong one.
Yeah, that's who she called.
And, no, that's right.
Yeah.
And what happened was they got their boyfriend. She called her boyfriend, and he went to the mall to join them.
To protect him.
To protect him. And what happened was two older boys decided to pick a fight with him.
They're the ones that were following the girls.
And they were the ones following the girls. And they were bigger. And what happened was they murdered this boy. They had stolen kitchen knives out of one of the stores in the mall. They both had long, unsheathed kitchen knives with them. They stabbed this 14-year-old boy to death. And he was still moving, trying to get away, but the crowd was so big he couldn't get back in the mall to get away from them. Well, he died. And the two 15-year-old boys are facing adult charges. They're being held on a $500,000 cash-only bond and $450,000 cash-only bond. These are horrific events.
They're being charged with first-degree homicide, aggravated assault and theft, and conspiracy to commit first-degree murder. They face the death penalty and life in prison. 15 years old. Very tragic.
So this has shaken our little...
It's very disturbing.
Our town considerably. We're not a small town, but we're not a real large one. And, I spend a lot of time online. We have websites online. We spend a lot of time on social media. And, today's youth in many of the big cities, they are killing and murdering at a regular rate. Now we have this happen. And this is unusual. Cold,
bloody murder. And the kid didn't want to fight him. He wanted to help the girls get home.
And he didn't fight. He didn't raise a finger to fight back. And you know what's even more disturbing, Dana, is that the crowds watched it. I think there was probably some that videotaped it.
Well,
nobody
they did.
Lifted a finger to help. That is what's so disturbing.
And the thing of it is,
aside from the death of this young man, that's very, very tragic and disturbing, but nobody lifted a finger to help. That's troublesome.
Yeah. And someone did get a full video of the entire fight. The cops have the video. And I don't think anybody expected these two to murder this young boy.
No.
But the thing of it is, I've seen this time and time before on social media where someone gets beat up, robbed. You know, I've seen them stripped naked, and the crowd will sit there and film it. They'll watch it and watch the body, or they'll watch the person who's beat up. They don't lift a finger, many of them. And I've been on social media for many, many, many years. I know social media. And I also know what I see. And I don't like what I see online. And so we wanted to, bring this up. And we remember Bobby Mayer Jr. and his family. And may God bless them and keep them.
Yes, amen.
And comfort them in the death of their son. And may this never happen again in this city. And these two who are going to be tried as adults, we'll see what happens. But when you do this, for me, it's a no-brainer. They deserve the death penalty, even if they're kids. But whatever they get, it'll be up to the justice of the city, the prosecutors and everything. It's just horrific, and it leaves behind a shaken community, and, I regret that this happened.
Me too.
But I see this stuff online all the time. I read about it. So we are in our advocacy broadcast. And I just hate to cover things like that. I just hate that we have such a level of hatred that we're willing to kill over such a minute thing. Doesn't even say why they wanted to kill him.
No.
Well, up front, thy many gods who shall save you. This is an article by the Watchman Dana G. Smith, yours truly. And we feature a few of our articles. And tonight, this is one of them. And I will read you an excerpt. The wolf has consumed a people devoid of understanding. Thy many gods, O America, have we beheld. The wolf has lain down beside the lamb, and behold, the innocent has been devoured. Truth has fallen, and justice laid bare. The womb of a people has been breached, and the sore is infected. The foundation laid before has been replaced by mud bricks.